Hello dear student, this is Neelam Joshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and as I am taking your data structure subject and the subject code is CS303, so today I am taking the lecture of Introduction of Data Structure. Today we will going to discuss about some basic topics which is related with data structure. Okay, and these are the outlines which we are covering in today's video, in which the first one is prerequisites of topic, then problem objectives, what is data and information, and then we will discuss about the processing of data and information in the form of diagram, and then we will compare data versus information, okay, on various aspects, and then we discuss about data processing cycle and some error which are occurring whenever we are under processing, and then we will discuss about data types, and then only for the assessment of today's video basis, I am giving some assignment for just understanding about the topic, and then learning outcomes and references. So now moving ahead, first one is prerequisites of topic. So as I already told you in my previous video that what is the means of prerequisites. So basically the pre-requirement before learning and discussing about data structure in detail, that you should have knowledge of computer and various types of various parts of computers, and I think you all know and all should be aware about all of these parts, and then you should have knowledge about the concept of memory management, that why we need memory management to access our data structuring concepts, if we talk about memory management, why we need memory management in data structure, then I'm here just want to tell you that memory management needed because it is the process of controlling and coordinating computer memory and assigning portions, which is called blocks, to various runnings program to optimize overall system performance. Okay, please keep this thing in your mind that the main purpose of using memory management is to optimize the overall system performance. Okay, and memory management resides in hardware, in the operating system, and in the program and applications. Okay, so in other words, we can say that memory management is just a form of resource management which is applied to computer memory, and the essential requirement of memory management is to provide ways to dynamically allocate portions of memory to program at their request, and of course free it for reuse when no longer needed. So all because of these features, we need memory management in our subject, which is data structure. Now if we are talking about why you should have knowledge about computer programming, then computer programming is the basics, and we can say that in other words, it is the first step before going ahead for deep learning about data structure, because computer programming is the process of designing and building an executable computer program to accomplish a specific computing results. Okay, and programming involved here in the form of task, such as we can say that whenever we want some analysis phase, then by using programming we can easily access this phase of analysis, and it is also used to generating various types of algorithms. Sometimes we are facing the problem of handling algorithm in a very complicated way. So for helping out by this complexity, we needed some specific programming language, and generally this is referred to as a coding. And here I also included the point, means here the source code of a program is written in one or more languages that are intelligible to programmers rather than a machine code which is directly executed by the central processing unit. Now what is central processing unit? So you all know about the central processing unit in the name as the name of CPU. Okay, so basically the purpose of programming is to find a sequence of instructions that will automate the performance of a task, which can be either in the form of complex, then it should be handled by operating system on a computer, and sometime for solving a given problem we also needed some programming approaches. So we can say that proficient programming does often require expertise in several different subjects, which is including knowledge of applications domain, specialized algorithm, and some formal logic. So all of these features shows that why we include computer programming in the form of either we can use C or we can use C++ whenever we are performing data structure function. Now moving ahead, problem objectives. So basically this problem objective is based on my today's lecture. That means in today's lecture we will focus about the understanding in detail of what is data and what is information, and also we will discuss about data processing cycle in detail. That means what is data processing, how can we handle data cycle, and what type of allocation techniques we needed whenever we are processing our data. And also I am included here errors occur during processing of data. So basically here these three problem objectives defined which I am included in my today's lecture. Now moving ahead, the main concept here included in the form of what is data and information. Here data is basically represented simply in a form of values or a set of values, and it is sometimes denoted as raw material. Basically data is just uses in the form of raw material, and we can say that unorganized fact that require to be processed to make it meaningful. Just keep this point in your mind that we needed data in the form of raw material and unorganized way so that we can process it in the meaningful form. And data can be simple at the same time unorganized unless it is organized. Generally we can say that data comprises some facts, observations, perceptions, numbers, characters, symbols, images, etc. Here I am taking the example of data. Here you can see the data is basically belong some specific types of images, various types of images, and the collection of various images is just represent just we can represent it in the form of data. And if we are taking some specific entity in the form of world, then we are just representing it in the form of data. And various types of number in the form of unorganized manner, or sometimes it is also in the form of organized manner. It is also represented in the way of data. And like we again taking a specific entity here in the form of sound, so here it is also become the part of data. So basically the sense is what data is always interpreted by a human or a machine to deriving meaning. So data is meaningless, and data contains number, statement, character in a raw form. Okay, and here I also included the point that data just basically uses in the form of characteristics or information, which is usually in the form of numericals that are collected through observations. And in more technical sense, data is set of values in the form of qualitative or quantitative variables about one or more persons or objects, while we are using it in the form of singular or just datum. Datum is word which is also used to show specifically data, and it is single value of a single variable. Okay, so in this way we are just defining data in detail. Now if we are talking about what is information, okay, then here according to the definition, information term basically used for data with given attribute, and it is also denoted as meaningful data. So here the means is information is that it is a set of data which is processed in a meaningful way according to the given requirement. Okay, and information is processed, structured or presented in a given context to make it meaningful and useful. So we can say that it is a processed data which includes data that possesses context, relevance and purposes, and it is also involves manipulations of raw data. As I already mentioned whenever we are discussing data, that data is just represented in the form of raw material, and when we process this raw material into some specific meaning, then it is converted in the form of information. Okay, so information basically assigns meaning and improves the reliability of the data, and it helps to ensure undesirability and reduces uncertainty. So when the data is transformed into information, it never has any useless detail. Okay, so we can say that data and information are often used interchangeably, and these both terms have a distinct meaning, and data is just simply represented in the form of units, and data is also measured, collected and reported and analyzed. Okay, and information is just data is just unprocessed data, and information just uses in the form of processed data. Now moving ahead, processing of data and information. Here I again mention the point that data and information are closely related concept, but each has its own role in relations to other, and each term has its own meaning. If we are just looking both of these terms in a just common view, then data is basically collected and analyzed, and data only becomes information suitable for making decisions, and once it has been analyzed in a specific fashion, then it is also represented in the form of information. Okay, so we can say that the extent to which a set of data is informative to someone, it depends on the extent to which it unexpected by that person, and the amount of information contained in a data stream may be characterized by using some specific features. So here in this diagram you can see that different data in the form of raw material is collected and then goes for processing. Why we need here this processing? Because I have already told you that we need processing because we just want to transform this data into a meaningful information. That's why here we are collecting this data and then it goes for processing, and then after processing we are just converted here this data in the form of information. Okay, now we will discuss how data is differ from information by using some specific parameters. Here you can see in this tabular form that how these parameters are represented in the form of data and in the form of information. Here the first parameter is based on description. So here we are just defining data and information, like whenever we talk about data, then it is represented as quantitative or qualitative variables which helps to develop ideas or conclusions. Okay, and whenever we talk about information, then it is just represented in the form of group of data. Basically, this group of data is used to carry news and meanings. Okay, like if we are taking real life example, then you can see in news that various types of news is represented in various types of channel, but each and one news channel represented in some its own way. Okay, because they collected the data in the form of raw material and then it converted in the form of news, which is just a useful and meaningful information. Okay, and then we get this information from the news channel, and then we know that about the real life environmental activities. Okay, now the second one is format. Here data is basically represented in the form of numbers, letters, characters, and here information is just uses the format in the form of ideas and interferences. Now the next parameter is represented in. That means when we are representing the data, then it is just uses and it can be structured in a form of tables, data, graph, and data trees, etc. And whenever it comes to the point of information, then here it is represented in the form of languages, various types of ideas, thoughts, which is based on the given data. Okay, next one is meaning. Here it does not have any specific purpose because data is just a raw material. That means it is not represented any specific purpose, but whenever it converted into some sense, then we can say that it carries meaning that has been assigned by interpreting data. So in short, we can say that it is meaningful data. Okay, now interrelationship. Here information is based on the collective way, so we can say that it is collected information. And whenever we are talking about information, then here information is based on processing method. Okay, now moving ahead with the next feature, which is next parameter, which is feature. So here data is just a single unit, as you all know that it is a single and a raw unit, so it's alone doesn't have any specific meaning. Okay, but information is the product and group of data which jointly carry a logical meaning, so that it is called meaningful data. Now we can say that it can data can depends on information, and information is depend on data. Why it is vice versa? So as I already mentioned in the definitions of both data and information, that why we are dependent on these specific constraints. Okay, now next come to the point of characteristics. Then we can say that data is property of an organization and it is not available for sale to public. That means data dependency is based on source, and we can say that data is in organized way. And whenever we talk about information, then information is available for sale to public. That means information depends upon data. So here these both points are just correlevant with each other. That's why we can say that information is available and information depends upon the data. And here I just want to say that whenever we talk about the significance of data, then data alone has no significance, but information is significant by itself. And here if we talk about meaning, by using this parameter, then data is based on records and observation, and which are stored in computers or remembered by a persons. So we can say that it is basically based on specific records. And information is more reliable than data. The means is what? Information is considered more reliable than data because it helps the researchers to conduct the proper analysis, because information is useful and valuable, and it is readily available to the researcher for use, so that we can say that information is always specific to the requirements and expectations, because all the relevant facts and figures are removed during the transformation process. So in this way we are just defining and understanding how the data is differ from information. Now moving ahead, now we are just discussing about data processing cycle. But before discussing about cycle, we just have the information about what is data processing. Basically, data processing can be done manually using pen and paper, because it refers to the process of transforming raw data into meaningful output, that is called information. Okay, so for this purpose we need to convert it in the form of specific manner. So here we need a data processing cycle, because data processing cycle refers the sequence of activities which involves in data transformation from its raw form to information form. And it is also referred to as a cycle because the output obtained can be stored after processing and may be used in future as input. So for this purpose, here we involve 4 type of steps involved in cycle of data processing, in which the first one is data collection. Here we include data collection as data gathering, or in other words we can say that fact finding, and it involves looking for crucial facts which is needed for processing. So for this purpose we just conduct some interviews, sometime we also need some questionnaires and observation etc, which is used to collect the data. Okay, and it is the process of selecting representative elements from an entire group. And some of the tools that help in the data collection, source documentation in the form of data capturing devices and digital camera etc. So for this purpose we needed data collection. Okay, and whenever we talk about data collection, then after collecting the data, we also include some proper steps like data creation. Means here the process used for identifying and putting together the fact in an organized format, and then we prepare that data. That means there we need some conversion of data from source document to machine readable form, and after that we transmit that data, which will depends on whether data needs to be transmitted by communication media to the central office. Now the next method, data input. Here it refers to the process where the collected data is converted from human readable form to machine readable form. That means here we converted into it binary form. Okay, so here the data input is basically based on some input devices like media conversation, input validation, some specific types of sorting, like if we talk about media conversation. Okay, then here data may need to be transmitted from one medium to another. For example, if we are taking any floppy disk, then we need to convert it into a computer hard disk or faster input. Okay, now the next steps in cycle of data processing is data processing own self. That means here it is based on conversion into meaningful data. Means here the transformation of the input data by the CPU to a more meaningful output, and some of the operation performed on the data, here we include calculations, comparison of various values, and sorting, etc. Now the next method is data input. Here it producing the desired output. That means after using these steps, finally the output is represented. This is the final activity in data processing cycle, which is just represented the desired output. And here the information can be distributed to the target group or stored for future use. So here we can represent the data processing cycle by using these 4 steps. Now moving ahead, data processing errors. After understanding the cycle of data processing, we also need to know about data processing error. That means which type of error occur during the data processing activation. Basically, the accuracy of the computer output is just a critical portion, and as the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. The accuracy of the data entered in the computer directly determines the accuracy of the information given out. So here some of the errors that influence the accuracy of data input and information output, it includes in the form of, like, the first one is a transaction error. Basically here this error results from having real number that have long fractional part which cannot be fit in the allocated memory space. So in this case this type of error generated. Next error is based on overflow error. Here it occurs if the result from a calculation is too large to be stored in the allocated memory space. So obviously the overflow error is occurred. For example, if we are taking a byte which is represented using 8 bits, and overflow will occur if the result of calculation gives 9-bit number. Okay. Next error is based on computational error. Here this error occurs when an arithmetic operation does not produce the expected result, and the most common computation errors include overflow, transactions, and rounding. So here I am describing these types of error also. Like if we are talking about algorithmic error, then algorithm is just a set of procedural steps which is followed to solve a given problem. So we can say that algorithms are used as design tool when writing program, and wrongly designed programs would result in a program that runs but give some enormous output. So here this type of error generally occur whenever we are doing work on any algorithm. Okay. Now the next one is rounding error. Here result from raising or lowering a digit in a real number to the required rounded number is when we want this type of strategy, then here this type of rounding errors occur. Okay. Now the next one is transposition error. When the result from incorrect arrangement of character, like putting character in a wrong order, that means the position of the characters are not appropriate, then these types of error this type of error occur, and these error may be avoided by using modern capture devices, like sometime we can use barcode readers, digital cameras, etc. Okay. Now the next one is transcription error. Here this type of error occur during data entry. Okay. And such errors include misreading and transposition error. Misreading error means what? Sometimes we are just reading something else, otherwise this type of error never generated, means we are brought about by the incorrect reading of the source by the user and hence entering wrong values. So basically the main focus of data processing activity includes these types of error, so that we are aware about these types of error, and we just try to avoid these type of foolish error. Okay. Now moving ahead, What is data type? Data type is basically an attribute of data which tells the compiler or interpreter how the programmer intended to use the data. Basically, data type is used to just creating a building block for our algorithm or our programming. So for this purpose, these data types just categorized into primitive, composite and abstract data type. And whenever we talk about primitive data type, then it represented as a basic building block, and it is represented in the form of boolean, integer, floats and character, etc. And whenever we talk about composite data type, then here any data type which is composed of some primitives or composite types, and here it is in the form of structures, arrays, string. So it is represented in the form of composite, like string. It describes basically a data structure which contains a sequence of character primitives, and such is referred as a being of composite type. Okay, and if we are talking about abstract, then this data type is defined by its behavior. Like here we can take the example of tuples, sets, stacks, queues, graph, etc. So in this way we are just representing the data type, and here I am just representing the basic data type which we are using in C language. Like here the first data type is character, and the size of character is just 1, and the range here which is used for character data type is -128 to 127, and it is used to store characters. The second important data type is int. This is also called integer values, and the size here it uses is 2, and the range used by integer is 32768 to 32767, and it is used to store integer numbers. The third special data type which is float, and the range of float is just representing here in this way, and this is used to store floating point numbers. And last most important data type of C is double, and it is uses 8 bytes, and the range which is used by double is just represented here like this, and it is used to store big floating point number. Okay, now moving ahead, what is data objects? Here the means of data object is used as a little bit of data that forms a conceptual unit in a computer program. Means a data object is a region of storage that contains a values or group of values, and here each values can be accessed using its identifier or a more complex expression that refers to the object. So we can say that each object has a unique data type, and here an instance of class type is commonly called a class object. This is just the additional features of data object. We can say that each object has a unique data type, means the data type of object determines the storage allocation for that object and the interpretation of the values during subsequent access. So it is also used in any type of checking operations. So we can say that both the identifier and data type of object are established in the object declaration. So for this purpose we are just using these data objects in our data structure, and we can say that whenever we use any data type in our algorithmic structure, then we need to define by using some specific data objects. Now moving ahead, this is the assignment. Actually this is the assignment which is basically based on today's video lecture, and you have to remember that you don't need to submit this assignment on LMS, because this is only for your practice. so that you can achieve and enhance your knowledge skills, and we will discuss about this assignment in the webinar. So just study in detail about these two questions. That the first one is compare data and information on the basis of various parameters, and the second one is analysis why various types of error occurs during data processing. Okay, now learning outcome of my today's lecture. So today's video outcomes is basically based on the difference between data and information, and also we discussed about various types of data types and brief information about data processing cycle. These all things is basically represented in the basics of data structure. Means whenever we are just moving ahead to understand data structure in detail, then we should have knowledge about these particular aspects. And data structure, because data structure is just based on data organization, management, storage format that enable efficient access and modification. So for this purpose, we can say that data structure is used a collection of data values and the relationship among them, and the function or operation that can be applied to the data. So basically the main purpose of today's outlines and today's videos content to understand in detail about the specific features of data structure. And these are the shallow points, and here are the reference which I have used. The first one is data structure and algorithm, and the second one is data structure using C. So just refer these books for better understanding about the topic, and thank you so much to all of you.